What's up, Bills Mafia? Today we're going to be talking about the 5 under-the-radar Bills players to watch on offense at training camp. But before we get to that, let's get to that intro. Welcome to the Mafia Sports Report. I am Tommy. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always forget to tell you. What's up, Bills Mafia? Training camp is this week coming up. Bills football is almost here, and it's been a long off season. I just can't wait for week 1 against those New Jersey Jets, and I am excited for training camp. I am excited for preseason because there's going to be a lot of battles for positions. So this is a great article, by the way, that Bills Wire put together. So shout out to Bills Wire. So yeah, let's start this 5 under-the-radar Bills players to watch on offense at training camp. So the first one they got is Damien Harris. So what they say about Damien Harris: running back Damien Harris was brought in on a 1-year deal to be the big back the team had hoped to have in 2020 when they drafted Zach Moss. Moss was traded to the Colts at the deadline last season for fellow back and return man Nyheim Hines. As the Bills seek more versatility and consistency, reliable contributions from their run game. The addition of Harris is an interesting one that makes him a player to watch as he joined the Bills on a 1-year deal and may have to re-up with the team beyond the season, when there is more cap space to work with it if he factors into their plans over the next few seasons. Or GM Brandon B could look to upgrade further through next year's draft or free agency when players like Derrick Henry are due to hit the market. That would be interesting. That will all provide motivation for Harris. In the meantime, he gives Buffalo's offense a reliable third down and red zone threat in their backfield, and a rotation piece to share the load, wear, and tear of the running back position. He also provides legitimate competition with the second-year back James Cook and Hines, and an insurance policy should either player sustain an injury and miss time during the season. Cook may very well be ready to step into the RB1 role, but if not, Harris can compete to fill that role. So let's talk about Damien Harris real quick. So listen, man, it's a 1-year deal. It's a prove-it deal. Smart signing by Brandon Beane. The one thing the Buffalo Bills have struggled with the last 3 seasons is short yardage, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, stuff like that, getting that first down without having to use Josh Allen. And we have struggled also in the red zone and at the goal line. We cannot get short yardage. And I loved him, Devin Singletary, I did, but he wasn't that big bruiser kind of back. He wasn't that type of back. Now, I still say Devin Singletary still could move the pile a little bit, but he was an undersized back. He was 5'7", I believe. So, James Cook as well. I like James Cook, but James Cook is not that bruiser type back. Damien Harris has that. He's proven that. The one thing that worries me with Damien Harris, and I think it worried Brandon Beane, and that's why it's a 1-year deal, is his injury history. Damien Harris has, I think, yet to complete a full season of football without being on the injury report or missing games. So can he stay healthy is the biggest question, right? If he can, then he's proven that he could be a good running back in the NFL, and is exactly what we want. In 2021 is when he had 15 touchdowns for the Patriots. If we could even get 10, that would be great. Right? That would be a great signing. But it worries me, once again, the fact that he just cannot stay healthy. And then if we lose Harris, then we're right back to square one, right? Where who's going to be our short yardage back? Who's going to be our red zone goal line back? It won't be Cook, right? Will it be Murray? And I think Murray is flying under the radar. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be a battle between Murray and Harris. And if Harris can't stay healthy in training camp or preseason, then Harris is probably going to get cut, guys. I'm going to be totally real with you. There's no reason to keep him here if he can't stay healthy. I mean, if he's getting hurt right away. I hope that's not the case. But Murray's been relatively pretty healthy in his career. I mean, early on, I know he had a couple injuries, but he's been healthy since. And he's proven that he can still run the ball and be effective. So it's going to be an interesting battle there between Murray and Harris, in my opinion. One that many aren't talking about, but I think it will be. All right, so let's get to the next on their list here. Next up, Trent Sherfield, a guy that's I've been praising ever since they signed him. Wide receiver Trent Sherfield carved out a solid role in the Dolphins' offense playing for Miami last season behind fellow receiver Tyreek Hill, where he had a career year. He's competing for playing time in the rotation behind wide receiver Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. After Diggs and Davis are second-year receivers Khalil Shakir, followed by a pool of talent down the depth chart pipeline with players looking to make a splash in training camp. Joining Sherfield is fellow free agent addition on a 2-year pack, Deontay Hardy, XFLer Marcel Aitman, and 5th-round 2023 draft pick Justin Shorter, as well as Isaiah Coulter, Jalen Wayne, Keyshawn Johnson, and Tyrell Shavers. Early returns in minicamp were good, earning the praise of quarterback Josh Allen. And yeah, listen, I got to tell you, man. So Sherfield had actually a crack at working with Josh Allen early on in the first day of minicamp because Stephon Diggs situation. And from all reports, with Sherfield and Allen were having a good connection. And Sherfield was looking mighty good out there. Now, mind you, it's just minicamp shorts. I mean, it really doesn't prove a lot, but training camp will show a lot. And preseason. And listen, Sherfield had a very good season last year for the Dolphins, racking up a little over 400 yards on a team where they had multiple weapons to go to besides Sherfield, and he still picked up those yards. He made some very good catches. He also made some drops that he needs to work on, his drop percentage. But listen, 6'2", guy has speed. I think he ran like a 4.3, like a high 4.3. The dude, listen, the dude could play some football when given the opportunity. Let's just hope he could continue where he left off in Miami. And listen, if the dude could pick up 500-600 yards for the Bills, that's a good signing. I have no problem with that. If it's under 5, under 4, something like that, then yeah. I mean, once again, I see why it was a 1-year deal, because once again, here's another player that's on a prove-it deal for the Buffalo Bills. Let's be real here. And Brandon Beane loves signing these 1-year prove-it deals. I mean, that's his bread and butter since he's been in Buffalo with some of these guys. So let's get to the next guy on this list, and that is Deontay Hardy. That's funny. So Hardy is another receiver and return man who came to Buffalo in free agency. Signed a 2-year pact after strong rookie campaign followed by a long stint on injury due to a turf toe. He'll be competing to continue to develop at the pro level and show that the injury year was just that. Positionally, he'll be looking to compete with Sherfield for wide receiver 2 on the field, while also working to do so amidst a group playing versatile football and lining up in different spots. That group will include fellow receivers in Shakir and hybrid run and catch receiving backs James Cook and Nyheim Hines. Hardy has upside and could be a player to watch in training camp. I agree. Listen, man, Hardy, another guy that is a speedster. He's short. He's like 5'9", I want to say, 5'10", something like that. I think it's 5'9". But dude is electric. I think he ran like a low 4.3. Very, very fast. He does have a bit of an injury history. That kind of is a little concerning. But when healthy, this guy, man, do not give this guy room, because this guy will take it to the house. He is that electric. And as far as punt returns, man, dude is electric as well. I feel very confident with him back there, doing, serving punt returns, kick returns. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Nyheim Hines because of that. But listen, yeah, I could definitely see him being a weapon on this offense. And he's a player to look out for, once again, in training camp and preseason, to see what kind of connection he builds with Josh Allen and what Ken Dorsey uses him, how he uses him on the offense in training camp and preseason. I'm very curious how many snaps he gets, how many is he working with the first team. Going to be very important to see. So yeah, I agree with that one. That's definitely one to keep an eye on. So let's get to the next guy here, and that is Khalil Shakir. Man, love what I saw from Khalil Shakir last year. So the player who has an edge at the receiver position and a full season of learning and experience in Buffalo's offense is 2022 5th-round pick Khalil Shakir. He has been one of the Bills that has generated some good buzz during the offseason, both by working out with legendary Bills Eric Moulds, my man, and also by earning trust and praise from quarterback Josh Allen. Shakir can line up in multiple spots and play different routes, and could play his way into becoming a more involved part of the team's offense. I agree, man. Listen, man, everything I saw from Shakir last year was, man, pretty much the dude is ready to be a star in the NFL, in my opinion. The guy was reliable. The guy came up with some big catches. The game didn't seem too fast for him when he had the opportunity. And I felt like he was just mature for a rookie. The way he talked to the media, the way he handled his business on the field, just a mature guy, man. And I think the guy's only going to get better. And working with Eric Moulds, who I think is one of the most underrated wide receivers in NFL history, is only going to help him get better. Let me tell you, man, Khalil Shakir has some speed on him as well. And you guys saw that last year when he was given the opportunity. The yak was impressive. And I just cannot wait for year 2 of Khalil Shakir to see what he can bring to the table. I think it's going to boil down to Khalil Shakir and Trent Sherfield for that wide receiver 3 spot. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be an interesting one. I think Sherfield may have the edge a little bit because he has, more experience in the NFL right now. But that doesn't mean anything. We'll see when training camp and preseason hits, when these guys are battling it out. And then obviously Hardy's going to be thrown in the mix as well. But I think it's going to be between those two for that 3rd spot, in my opinion. So yeah, man, look out for Khalil Shakir. Let's go to the next one here, and that is David Edwards, guard. Great pickup, by the way, for the Buffalo Bills. GM Brandon Beane set out to improve the protection for Josh Allen this offseason, and did so by adding to and bolstering the pool of offensive linemen. That meant bringing in talent to compete in the trenches via free agency and the NFL draft. One free agent addition, Connor McGovern, figures to slot in as a starter, while Harris and 2023 second-round draft selection Osiris Torrance compete for time in the line rotation as well to unseat current starters. What makes Harris a player to watch is the success he had as a reliable contributor and starter with the Bills' O-line coach Aaron Kromer during their Super Bowl season with the Los Angeles Rams. Should he return to his previous form under Kromer, the Bills brass has made it known that it will start the best 5 linemen they have, which means Edwards has a shot not just at the rotation, but as a starting role. And yeah, I agree, and that is the end of that article. Listen, I'm going to throw one more player or two out there before we end this. But David Edwards, once again, another solid depth piece that Brandon Beane brought along for this offensive line, really for this team. He did a lot of depth this offseason. I think, in my opinion, the best offseason that Brandon Beane has had in Buffalo. Young talent, guys that's shown that they can, provide what they need as far as winning in the trenches go. Not older veterans who are on their way out, younger talent. absolutely love the pickup. Will he be a starter? We'll see. I don't think so. I think he's going to be more of a depth piece. I still truly believe O'Cyrus Torrence is going to be your right guard. He's going to show that in camp. You're going to be hearing and seeing videos, I'm sure, of O'Cyrus Torrence in camp handling his business, against a good D-line in the Buffalo Bills. And I said it last night on our live, man, you're going to know right away. The Bills are going to know what they have in O'Cyrus Torrence when he's going against, our D-line. And they're going to tell you, this guy's a beast. This guy's a dog. So, but Edwards, let me tell you, man, experience, started last year for the Rams, or 2 years back when they won a Super Bowl. Good player, good depth piece. He's not going anywhere. So really love that piece. Now, I want to add one more. To this, and I'm going to add in under the radar Spencer Brown. And you're going to like, Spencer Brown? Listen, man, this guy, if you don't think that players hear the talk, right? Hear the noise from media, from fans, especially negative noise, that they don't get motivated by that, then you're wrong. Trust me. And they may say, I don't care about that. I don't even go online. I don't read it. They do. They hear it somewhere. And it's motivation. And listen, Spencer Brown, once again, he's only been in the league a couple seasons. He obviously last year he went through a back surgery, did not get to go to OTAs, minicamp, training camp, preseason, missed all of that, and was thrown in week 1 right away. Then he had an ankle injury later on in the season. I believe it was against the Jets early on in that game. I believe it was the Jets or the Dolphins, one of those games. And he missed about 3 weeks, I believe, after that. Quessenberry had to fill in. So he had a rough start to the season. Then he had a rough season altogether. Playing, getting in there, didn't get to work with Kromer, rusty. Then he got hurt. It just, it wasn't his year. It wasn't meant to be. This year he's going in 100% healthy. He had OTAs, he had mini camp, he's having training camp now. And most importantly, he gets to work with Kromer. Okay? And I know you're like, I don't think a lot of you guys realize how good Aaron Kromer is. And I just want to quickly pull this up real quick. Just to kind of give you a little backdrop on some of you guys that don't really know who Aaron Kromer is, what he's done in the NFL. And I'll show that real quick to you guys, and then we'll get over this. So, Kromer began his NFL coaching career in 2001 with the Raiders. In 2003, he helped lead the Raiders to an AFC championship and to the Super Bowl. Kromer was hired by the Saints in 2008 as a running backs coach before becoming the offensive line coach the following season. Under his tenure as offensive line coach, the Saints sent 5 players to a combined 9 Pro Bowls and tied for the fewest sacks in the league with 96. Under Kromer, the Saints line twice won the Madden Most Valuable Protectors Award as the best offensive in the league in 2009 and in 2011. The Saints won Super Bowl XLIV with Kromer. He filled in as the Saints interim head coach for the first 6 games of 2012 as Joe Vitt and Sean Payton served their suspensions for Bountygate. The Saints were 2-4 during that season. In 2013, Kromer was announced as a new offensive coordinator and offensive line coach for the Bears. He joined Mark Trestman's initial coaching staff. After working with Trestman in Oakland, in his first year, the Bears' offense had the second best scoring offense in the league with 445 points behind the Denver Broncos, while finishing 5th with 4,281 passing yards. The offense also broke team records in total yards, passing touchdowns, and first downs. In 2014, offensive lineman assistant Pat Meyer was named offensive line coach, while Kromer, who served as offensive coordinator and line coach 2013, remained the offensive coordinator and continued to be involved in all aspects on the offense, including the line, which had an increased role with the passing game. In 2015, the Bills reached a 2-year deal. Y'all remember that. Then he got suspended for the beach chairs in its incident. If you don't know about it, go Google it. YouTube is pretty funny. And then in 2018, he went to the Rams. He promoted to run game coordinator after Matt LaFleur left to become the offensive coordinator for the Titans. In order to help the void, McVay also named tight ends coach Shane Monroe to the pass game coordinator. 2019, Kromer helped coach the Rams to an NFC Championship and Super Bowl. Kromer was not retained by the Rams as a coach in February, and then obviously we hired him last season. Let me tell you, man, once again, Kromer, an absolute dog, an absolute, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL, in my opinion. His track record tells you that, okay? And once again, when guys don't get to, go to training camp, they miss minicamp, OTAs, training camp, preseason games. This is so important for especially younger players to develop their game, right? It's once the season starts, it's practice, guys. You're practicing for your next opponent. This is not, where coaches can actually take the time, work with individual players, work with their teams. It's training camp. That's what that's for, right? Practice is practice. Practice is getting ready for your opponent. It's nothing to do with, getting better, working on your game, right? And, I feel like Spencer Brown missed out on that. So for these young players, right? Spencer Brown, Osiris Torrance, right? Even McGovern, right? Even Edwards. They all get to work with Kromer now. They all get to improve their game, and you're going to see a much better offensive line, in my opinion, this upcoming season. I think you guys last year really didn't understand what this addition meant for the Buffalo Bills by bringing in Kromer. We went from Bobby Johnson, who was a total nightmare, bad offensive line coach, in my opinion. Okay, one of the big reasons why we lost Wyatt Teller. Okay, guy couldn't see talent in front of him, and we traded him. And Brandon Beane took his advice. Terrible move. And I'm glad he's not on this team anymore. Kromer is going to help this team. He's going to get this team together. And Kromer had his hands on who Brandon Beane also was, picking up in the offseason as far as the depth free agency goes. And I'm sure he wanted Osiris Torrance badly in this draft, and he got his man. And I'm just super excited to see what this offensive line could do in both the run game and pass game, because I think they're going to do very good. Now, like I said, the one spot at right tackle with Spencer Brown is the question mark, and I'm a realist. I understand that because he hasn't yet proven that he can be the guy there at that spot. But like I said before, now's his opportunity. There's no more excuses. You're healthy coming in. You get to work with Kromer. And like I said, man, I think this guy's going to be motivated. I think this guy's going to show Bills Mafia that he can handle that spot. And once again, too, he's a super athletic guy. But you guys got to remember, too, very raw player when we drafted him. Was kind of new at that position. He wasn't a football player throughout high school. He played basketball. So he's kind of one of those players that is learning on the job, as you may say. And let's see what he does this year. But if he doesn't, man, I have faith in Brandon Shell. I do too. I think that guy could step up and fill that spot as well. And then we'll worry about what we do in the offseason again when the draft hits around, by finding our new right tackle if Spencer Brown doesn't work out. But anyways, guys, what's your thoughts? I want you to comment below. Let me know. Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace.
And look at him go. He could go all the way. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, yeah, yeah.